Hey guys, this is FPL Tips and welcome back to the live stream. Hi Abhishek, hi Kiran. Sydney finally found you today. Hey mate, just subscribe to the channel, you get the notification I think. I'm Ridul, hi Jack and hi Varun. You guys can hear me? I think you can. Hopefully you can at least. Okay, so the questions are coming in. Isn't Bruno a must? And we have Pulisic or Havertz. I think I'll just keep the Pulisic and Havertz question until game week 2 because we'll have to see how they play together, how the team is adapting to the new players, and what position and roles do they get. If Pulisic plays more ahead and he gets into the box much more like last season, I think if he's fit, I would prefer Pulisic over Havertz. Hi Ajat. Mridul isn't a Bruno must. I think Bruno is not a must. I mean, at least for the game week one team because he does not have a match. Probably game week two United assets are a must. So there are pretty much options. I would actually recommend only Bruno or Marshall. Both looking great from Bruno is on penalties. But if you take out the penalties from Bruno, I think it's more like an assist role play rather than scoring a lot of goals. So that's something factor you want to look at, and maybe Marshall will get more goals. Hey Ian, Random Junkie says McCarthy, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, Cody Havertz, Son, Maximan, Obasaka, Werner, Ings, and Ryan. That's a pretty set team, and hopefully you'll get points, mate. That looks the double defense does look a bit like problematic to me because I've already been saying it a lot that maybe the Liverpool defense will not keep a lot of clean sheets in the first 6 games, but nevertheless, if they keep one, that's a good payoff, I would say. Okay, so we'll start first with the transfer news. There are a couple of signings that have been added to the Premier League, which you might want to look at. As one of them is Jamal Lewis. He's 4.5, and he could be starting on the left back position from game week one itself. So if you want to look at the Newcastle assets, you can look for Jamal Lewis. Then we have Burr, who is from West Wolves, and there's a lot of talk about him starting in game week one. On the contrary, I think that he'll not start. I think Wolves will adapt to a 3-5-2, which in which Adama plays on the right wing back role. So probably you want to avoid Burr and maybe Vinagre if he doesn't move to Porto will start the game. Next, we have Fraser Wilson. All of us know, but I would avoid. All of us know they've come to Newcastle, but I would avoid them for game week one again because we'll have to see how the team adapts. Because Bournemouth are usually a very attacking team, and Newcastle are not. They're a stabilized team. They like to create chances differently, so they'll need time to adapt. So I would just wait and watch for the game week one, and then probably we'll look at Wilson probably from game week 2 or 3. Also, another important news is that Robinson, I think, has joined West Brom. So there's a chance that Brewster comes to Sheffield United and could also start playing. So if that moves happen, I would recommend Brewster because at 4.5 you get starting striker. The quality of Brewster is anyways amazing. So that's something you want to watch out for. Mridul says from the second week, yes, I think Bruno is a good pick from the second week. Varun says, will Shaw start? I think he will start. He's pretty much nailed on. I don't see Williams starting. There was a rumor that they're going for a left back, I think Telles, but I'm not sure if United will be able to buy him so soon in the market. Armstrong or Doucouré, I would go Armstrong. He's much more attacking. No, Trent, what's your thoughts on Vinagre getting the minutes? If he doesn't move to Porto, I think he'll get the minutes, especially for game week one, game week two, and later on at the end of the transfer deadline, we might possibly see a move for another defender by Wolves. But until then, I think till game week two, he's nailed on. And no Trent because I want to save zero point 0.5, so I would actually go with Robertson. It's not much of a difference, to be honest. Can we use Salah as a 1 week punt? I think there's a lot of talk about Salah as well. If you're going to captain him in the next 5 or 6 game weeks, then you might want to hold on to him. Otherwise, you can just make him a 1 week punt. Not necessarily a 1 week punt as well, and maybe you can get into Bruyne or Bruno according to your team. How will Jimenez game time will be affected by the new signing of Silva? I think Jimenez will predominantly still play around 70 minutes, at least for a very long time in the season. And then maybe later on we can see Silva getting a lot of more minutes, maybe even besides Jimenez. So we'll have to see about that. Justin starts for Leicester. I think he'll start for the first 3 game weeks. That's when Pereira comes back. and then we can see Justin off on the bench again. Thoughts on Everton midfield? I've discussed the Everton midfield in a video, actually in the preview video, but I think with James, especially the prospect of Digne reduces for me. I think James will take a lot of more set pieces. A lot of drafts I've seen today had Digne in them. I would recommend those drafts to actually look at the prospect of Kenny. He's 4.5. He's much cheaper than Digne. He puts in a lot of cross, and we know he's attacking. We've seen in the Bundesliga, there's a lot more attacking, just like Digne. So if you're looking for someone who's putting in crosses for Everton, I think Kenny could be the pick for 4.5 million. Apart from that, Allen, very good, but a defensive midfielder. Same goes with Dukure. I think James Rodriguez is someone you want to watch because he's not have a lot of game time in the recent seasons. So you want to wait and watch how he adapts to the Premier League and how he plays. Although if he starts off good, 7.5 million looks like a great price to bring him in my team. Probably when their fixtures go good around game week 2 and 3. And out of the attackers, I would go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin as discussed previously. Yes, you can start with Calvert-Lewin. Hopefully, finish off those chances that he'll now be getting from Allen and James Rodriguez. Dyer versus Davies, I would go with Dyer. I think Varun, Tottenham are trying to sign another left back, so if that happens, Davies might lose his position. Also, the fact that Davies tends to stay behind when they're on attack and tries to cut inside and hold the defensive midfield places. So he won't be attacking as much as you expect him to. Probably Dyer because then he's on set pieces. He's very much aggressive and attacking. Possibly can score a goal. Even Alderweireld if he starts. And then we have Doherty, obviously, who's going to be attacking a lot. Ryan Button, Trent, Egan, Saiz, Kyle Walker, Peters, Taylor, Salah, Oba, Son, ASM, Barnes, Werner, Adams, Davis. That looks like a set team. I think probably looking at a Son to Bruno or a Werner to Marshall move in game week 2. What's your thoughts on Callum Wilson? I discussed that just now. Ian, probably you heard it. I think you want to wait and see how Callum Wilson adopts to the Newcastle gameplay. Salah or Mane? That's a big question in my team as well. At the moment, I'm more inclined to Mane, but the ownership is affecting my decision because if Salah scores, and probably he will actually, then it's going to be a tough place to be at because then you'll be at what 13% ownership per Salah is at 33. That's going to affect your rank a lot. Also, the fact that if Salah is my team, I probably captain him as well. So that's something I'm looking at too. If you're not going to captain Salah, I think you might want to go for Mane. Varun says, not sure on ASM in your team, like your previous video. I think ASM is more nailed after the signings of Fraser because then there is not much burden on ASM to create everything. We have Almiron, we have Fraser, and probably Wilson should finish off more chances created by ASM, and also he should get some more chances at least. Against a weak West Ham defense, as we've seen in the preseason, it's a fair enough punt. Saka is also good, but I would actually go with ASM because we know that it's a high scoring fixture. Fulham also are known to set up defensively, so I'm not that keen of going Aubameyang captain as well at the moment. Son or Ali, I've posted I'm going for Ali. You can go for Son, but he's likely to drift wide on the left wing. Give me three Oba and Saka to Bruno and Greenwood. I don't like the prospect of Greenwood as much as I like Foden. If Foden is starting, if you know that Foden is going to start, I would prefer Foden anytime over Greenwood because he's going to get a hell lot more chances than Greenwood, and he'll probably capitalize this time because he's going to play either on the left wing or in the David Silva role. So I'll probably look more closely at Foden than Greenwood. Egan size, I would go with Egan probably for 2 game weeks and size from game week 3. They have a very good run from game week 3 to game week 7 or 8. Ings or Adams, if you have the money, go with Ings. Cheap option would be Adams. Will Kenny start ahead of Coleman every game though? Yes, I think Kenny will start ahead of Coleman. They've extended his contract and bought him back from the loan as well. So I'm expecting Kenny to start over Coleman and Coleman is getting aged as well. He's 31 or 32, I think. So Kenny looks like the future for Everton, and I hope he starts in the right back position. Best 9 million midfielder or a 1 week punt or not Son. Go with Havertz, mate. Havertz or Pulisic. Either of them. Darshit, what makes the difference between Mitrovic and Antonio? Arsenal is not an easy side, to be honest. It's not as easy as Newcastle without Dubravka. So I think, and also the fact that Newcastle have conceded the most set piece goals. I think they're highest in the league. And without Suchek, I think Antonio will be the target man for West Ham to score through set pieces. And that's the logic behind going Antonio over Mitrovic for 1 week. And we've seen how great Mitrovic's form has been recently. So if we continue that form, and we've seen Arsenal also improve defensively. Looking at all of the parameters, I think Antonio probably will get more points than Mitrovic this week. On the long term, I can't say Antonio will have more points because then we have a lot of factors involved. Bowen is again a very good pick for the first week, 1 week punt if you want to go. But I would go Antonio over Mitrovic. Why not put a United defender on your bench for game week 2? I think United defenders are not on my plan anyways around even game week 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably invest in the attack initially and then see how the defense is panning out. And in my wild card, I would like to then set up a good defense, probably a cheap one as well. So as of now, I'm going to look who's starting between Matip and Gomez. Most probably is going to be Matip according to me. I'm almost 99% sure. So once I see that, if I don't see the conviction in the fullbacks from Liverpool, I might switch to Matip again, like I did last season, and then set up a good, solid, cheap defense after my wild card. Will Brathwaite play? I don't think so. Random junkie. Your thoughts on Vinagre? Many rumors. I've already answered that. I think unless he moves to Porto, he'll start for the first 2 game weeks. Mitrovic of Bamford. I would go Mitrovic. He's proven and he's on penalties as well. Calvert Walker Peters for Vinagre. You can do that for the first 3 game weeks. I think Southampton can keep a clean sheet against Crystal as well as Burnley in the first 3 game weeks. So it looks like a good option to me. Best Arsenal defender, I think Tierney is the best one. He'll get a lot of more chances to score and assist. Yajat says Varun scored 4 goals in 2 games for England under 21. I'm not sure who they're talking about. Okay, Nikitia. I'm not sure if he'll start. It looks like Arsenal will adapt a 3-4-3. Probably Saka in midfield, Lacazette up top, Willian or Pepe on the right, and Aubameyang on the left. If Lacazette is not in the team, it could be Nikitia, but that is again subjective. We'll have to see how Arteta gives news in the presses about Lacazette starting or not. In the presence of Kane, who performs well, Ali or Son? Ali, without a doubt. I think Kiran, you should check out the post we made on Instagram. Uh, the ID of Instagram is FPL tips underscore underscore. Give it a look. You'll have an in-depth look about it. Santosh says thoughts on Havertz over Ali. Pulisic looks available too. Yes, Pulisic is available as well. Havertz over Ali. It looks like if you're going for 1 week, you might want to go Havertz. But if you're looking at a 3, 4, or maybe 5 week player position, I think Ali is better because Tottenham have those fixtures in their hand. Will Mitchell start? I think for game week 1, I'm sure. Game week 2 depends on Van Aanholt's recovery rate. So until Van Aanholt is back, Mitchell will start, and then he'll be back to the bench. Best 6 million and greater midfield. I think Traore is someone people are neglecting a lot, and then there's Barnes. But over the first 8 or 10 game weeks, if you look, Traore looks like a very good option. I'll also be closely looking at the Wolves attacker. I'm not sure. I've tried communicating with a couple of Wolves fan and sources, but they're not sure who's going to start in the left forward role. If it's Yota, then you can look at him as well at 6.5. But if it's either Neto or Podence, then that's a perfect fit for Saint Maximin at 5.5. Both of them are 5.5. So that looks like a good move in game week 3 or 4. Probably 4 when you're done with all of your City and United assets. Kane or Vardy? I would go 1 week punt Vardy if you're looking long term Kane. Diagonto, see Ali Hassan, I've already posted it on Instagram, so do check it, guys. Ali and San. There are a lot of player comparisons posted on Instagram with much more detailed stat with shots in the box, expected goals, and shots per 90 minutes, goal involvements per 90 minutes. So you might want to look at those stats and graphics, and you'll get a better idea. 3 players from Chelsea, good or bad? I think two is enough. Three is a bit more because they have Liverpool next. So it kinds of like defeats the entire purpose of having 3 Chelsea assets. And then they have United as well in game week 6. And probably after that you can have triple Chelsea. Mustafa, we already answered Salah or Mane. You might just want to check the stream start and then you'll get your answer. Yeah, it says, is there any chance we'll get early team news? I don't think so, mate. Probably we'll not get early team news this season. There's a very slight chance, probably for very certain teams like Leicester who hand over their team sheet early, Leeds probably. But apart from that, I don't think the team news we used to get 15 or 10 minutes earlier, we'll be getting those this year. So it's gonna be mostly going through the presses and taking out hints who's going to start or who's not going to start. I think both Antonio and Haller will play, and Antonio will shift to the left. I've discussed this in the video as well. So probably it's not a good long term option. Haller will start and he'll play up front. Double on Liverpool defense for long term. Diaganto, if you want to double on Liverpool defense, go it from game week probably 8 to 18. That's the perfect time to double up on a Liverpool defense. Oli, I'm not sure if he'll fit in straight away. We'll have to watch because again, new players tend to take time to fit in the Premier League. Thoughts on Bowen for the first week only? I think it's a very good punt. It's better than Antonio. As my team is setting up, I think I'm going to move Antonio to Martial. That's the reason I'm going for Antonio. But if your team is around the factor where you're going to get Bruno in game week 2, you can go for Bowen. I think it's a better punt than Antonio. Okay, so we'll start with the squad reviews. We've got a lot of talking points, and then you guys can put your inputs too. So I haven't seen all of the squads, so it's going to be a surprise kind of thing for me as well. So I think we have the first squad from Nathiel Daniels. Let me know if you guys can see it on your screen. Yes. So he has Ryan, Alexander, Robertson, Doherty, Dean A. Webster, Rodriguez, ZH, Havertz, Brewster, and Werner. And then he has three people on the bench who are not playing this game week. Okay, so the double Liverpool defense again, if it works out perfect. If it doesn't, then it's going to be risky. Dini again, you can do go down to Kelly in my opinion. Double Brighton defense, I would not recommend that. Probably if you want to double up, maybe someone like Wolves or Southampton. I think that's a better option, especially with Chelsea in game week 1. Rodriguez, 50-50 punt. I mean, it's totally your call. I would not jump on to new players, just like Fraser, Wilson, or Rodriguez. Hold on. If you can, probably you can go for Barnes. I think Barnes is a good pick at 7 million. And if you see Rodriguez perform, you can obviously switch back to Rodriguez. ZH, he's injured, mate. He's not going to play in game week 1. So if you're listening, go for Pulisic if possible or Havertz. You already have Havertz, so go for Pulisic. And then again, Warren. I think the triple up Chelsea doesn't suit much. ZH to Ali is a better move. And Brewster is not going to play at the moment. So that again is a weakness in the team. It predominantly looks like he's going to set it up for game week 2 and not game week 1. Also, the fact that I don't like Greenwood. People are spending a lot of money in their team and then benching Greenwood. If you're benching a United or City asset, it should probably be someone like Martial or Bruno who's going to be that effective. I saw a lot of drafts who were bench and people were benching Greenwood. I don't see Greenwood as a big prospect to spend all of your money and then bench him. If you can buy Greenwood by downgrading Ali, probably upgrading Barnes or just swapping him out for James Rodriguez, and that's not a big issue. He's not that expensive, and if you're benching someone from United or City, it should be a player of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno, or Martial, probably even Rashford, but not Greenwood. So if your plan is to bench a United asset, don't bench Greenwood. And even the defenders probably bench someone who's that explosive and will return after blanking in game week 1. Apart from that, I don't see much issues here. So that looks like the team to me. We'll go to the next team. Hey Shreyas, welcome back. And best 4.5 midfielder, I think there are not much playing midfielders. We can stick to Stephens or probably Gordon. If you want to punt, I think Stephens, both of them equally are good. I don't see them getting a lot of points anyways. So probably don't look for a playing 4.5 midfielder. Just keep it to your bench. So the next team we have is from a person who is unknown, is not named unknown, but doesn't want to reveal his name. So in his team we have McCarthy, Nyland. Looks like the perfect keeper combination at the moment. Ferguson actually is a good move because if you're not planning to play a crystal defender in the first 3-4 game weeks, Ferguson is the better pick from Mitchell because then once Ferguson is fit, he's expected to start over Ward. So this looks like a more long-term planning and is a good decision. Justin again won't play after game week 3. Justin to probably Kenny at game week 3 looks like a move if he's planning accordingly. Cody is a good move. You can probably look at Bolly as well. Osai is at 5 million. Egan, again, 5 million, decent pick. And Trent you have. In the midfield, we have Salah, Aubameyang, Son, Maximan, and Stephens. That looks like a template midfield, just like me, except from Son and Ali. That looks good. And Mitrovic, Calvert-Lewin, and Werner. I think going Calvert-Lewin game week 1 is bold and is also good. If it pays off, it's amazing. But if it doesn't, then you'll probably want to switch out to someone like Wilson or I think Bamford or someone of lower quality like Che Adams as well. Yes, he does have. He did spend a lot on defense, but I think with the rotation he's planning, it's okay. He'll probably play 4-4 or 4-3-3, and it looks decent in my opinion because eventually he'll get in a United asset. The only problem in this team is that you'll have to sacrifice one of your main players, which is either Werner, Aubameyang, or Salah, for a United asset. If you look at my team, I'm not sacrificing any of Werner's, Aubameyang, Salah, or any major player, or Ali or Son, for a United asset. That's what something you'll want to look at because eventually you're still losing a premium player. So that looks like an issue. If he can manage that, then it's great. Probably he'll do Aubameyang or Salah to Bruno, or mostly Son to Bruno if he has 1.5 in his bank. His forward doesn't look weak. Honestly, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts finishing off those chances he gets every game week, it looks like a set player for me. Should only do teams who are logged into the stream. Well, we can do that. I'm not. We actually had over 500 teams which were sent to us, and we were damn troubled by selecting them. So next time, probably we'll do a community YouTube rate my team thing where you guys can post it in the comments. So could be much easier. Or we could start a Discord server as well. Is Oba a must for long terms? I think Oba is must for the first two game weeks, and depending on the fixtures and performance of Arsenal, then we can decide if he's must or not. Varun says you should only do teams who are logged in the stream. Yes, I think, but a lot of those teams had much more talking points. I think a lot of teams which I saw were also template teams. They had the same attack. They had Mitrovic, Adams, Werner, same midfield, Son, Aubameyang, Salah, Maximan, probably the same defense as well. They had Mitchell, they had Trent, they had Vinagre, and then Justin and McCarthy in goal. So it looks like there's a lot of template teams coming in and probably find a couple of differential. I think for me it's Antonio and Ali, two differential players. If they work out well, you'll see the jump in the rank. I feel Jimenez will outscore Ings despite of his top fixtures. I think I want to get in Jimenez in game week 3, and I'm looking out of figuring out some way to get them in. If not, I'm going to closely look who starts alongside Jimenez. Do you think Sheffield United defense will be as strong as last season? I don't think so. I think they'll deteriorate a bit. What do you think about Jaden Bogle? Seems like a good option in defense. Who will play as a wing back in Sheffield United? I'm not sure who will play. I think it's still going to be Baldock and Stevens. Yes, there were about 500 templates sent to us. Who's not bothered to log in? Their team shouldn't be discussed. Well, that's a fair point as well. Gimmick transfers, Sun to Fernandez. As discussed, I'm telling you guys, a lot of people will be ditching Sun to Fernandez, but I think it's a too premature move because I feel if you're owning Sun, he's not a 1 week punt player. You want to own the likes of Sun and Ali for at least 3 to 4 game weeks and give them the time, and they'll pay back. So we'll move on to the next team. Aubameyang to Kevin De Bruyne looks like a set move in game week 3. I think Milan. Justin or Thomas? Go with Justin. I think Thomas won't be starting in the left back role probably from game week 1. So you might want to go for Justin at least for 3 game weeks. Okay, we have a team from Mubarak Abdul Rashid, and okay, this team does it on the looks like a disaster to me. It's Michael in goal, Van Dyke, Brathwaite, Lindelof, Douglas, and I'm not sure of the name. We have Struge, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And in midfield, we have Aubameyang, Saka, Rice, Ings, and Werner. And we have bench Fernandes, De Bruyne, and Davis. Okay, now this looks like a problematic team to me because first of all, your double lead defense against the likes of Liverpool in the first game week itself. Eventually, they have tougher fixtures as well. If you look at their fixtures, in game week 2, they face Fulham, probably looks like a clean sheet over there. Then Sheffield United doesn't look like a clean sheet to me. They face Man City in game week 4. Game week 5, they face Wolves. I don't see a lot of clean sheets for them. And then you have Rice. Rice is a central defensive midfielder. I don't see him assisting or scoring. Bradford is not going to play. Lindelof, I think if you're going for United assets, don't invest on the defenders straight away. And even if you want to do, there is Van Bissaka. The likes of Van Bissaka is much more greater than Lindelof. Van Dijk, Schmeichel probably can save a lot of money there. Lindelof to Justin and or maybe Castigan if he wants to bring in a fullback. Schmeichel to someone like McCarthy. Rice definitely needs to get out. And for the first game week, I think it's a disaster because he'll not end up having a lot of points, which will affect the overall performance. From game week 2, it can probably improve, but for game week 1, it looks like a very weak squad. Mridul, the defenders of promoted teams, I think the only defense I look from the promoted teams is Leeds, Dallas especially, and probably Douglas if he's starting. But that too after the first 6 game weeks, because the first 6 game week fixtures they have are pretty tough and like really hard fixtures. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet except for Fulham. Walker Peters or Vinagre or Justin. I would go Walker Peters because he is going to start for the entire season. Vinagre Justin will stop starting from game week 2 or 3. Shaw greater than Lindelof, definitely. Rice again. Rice, you don't want, if you want a cheap midfielder, go for the likes of Suchek, go for Saint Maximan, Saka, Armstrong, the small bone as well, who's 4.5 I think, and is a good player. Probably will start a couple of games. Declan Rice is someone you don't want to go to. Even Noble, probably just like the likes of Kante, Dukure. Probably you want to avoid such players who are not going to get involved in a lot of attack. Vinagre to Porto on season long loan apparently. Yes, that's going to happen soon. So that's why I'm saying that Vinagre is a maximum 2 week punt. I'm also deliberating that I remove Vinagre from my team and get in Kenny. David, I think with Ings and Jimenez, I think if Che Adams is starting continuously for a long period of time, Ings will drop behind him and he'll be in the 9.5, 10, probably that role, that kind of a role, and he'll not score as many points as Jimenez will. So if you want to look at someone in from game week 3 to game week 8 or 10, go for Jimenez. West Ham assets are not good enough. They will get relegated, says Mridul. I don't see them getting relegated anytime soon, but I see them when they have the good fixtures and when they have a fit squad. I see them doing pretty good as compared to the likes of West Brom and probably Fulham. I see them scoring way too many goals. Shaw or Van Bissaka bench for game week 2. I think Van Bissaka if you want to go for someone. How good will Mitrovic be in the first few games? I think he's going to struggle a bit, not as much as probably Adams or Antonio, but he scored a couple of goals. But I've seen him scoring the start he had in the championship. He scored 6 goals or 7 goals in the start first 6 games, probably more, but I'm not sure. But I don't see him scoring a lot of goals because he does have a couple of tough fixtures. I think Mount will start if Rice goes to Chelsea. I think he'll be on the bench predominantly, and Kante will start over him. So we will go to the fourth team. Okay, so this is a team from Josh. There are a couple of points I want to discuss straight away. Looking at his team, I like the pick of Traore especially. A lot of people are neglecting him. If you look at his total ownership, let me just check. He's not heavily owned as of now. He's definitely going to start. I don't see the fuss of him not starting. He's just 20% as compared to other midfield ownerships. He's decently picked, and you might want to go to Traore as well. In the defense, you have Robertson, Walker Peters, Gabriel Taylor, Alling. Looks like a good heavy defense. He's going to find a tough time who's going to play, who's going to not. Highly invested defense, especially the keepers. I think there's no need to have 5 million plus keepers. You might want to just reduce some one of them to button, probably Pope to button. because you don't want, if you already have Taylor at 4.5, you want to invest in him. And midfield looks sorted. He's going to play probably a 5 or 4 4 4-3-3. I think that's the formation he'll go for game week 1, and then he'll probably switch to 4-3-4-3 there onwards. I don't see a way getting in United assets apart from Werner down to Martial, but I would like to keep Werner or Martial as well because he's the talisman for Chelsea this season. I know there are players like Hazard and Havertz and Ziyech and Pulisic, but most likely they're going to provide the balls to Timo Werner. So you might want to have him in your team for at least 6 game weeks. Apart from that, I think it's pretty much decent. There's not much to discuss about except for the fact that he's chosen Traore, which is a good pick, and for the fact that he will probably struggle to get in the United assets. Ings to Marshall looks like a move also, but apart from that, I think there's no option of getting a United midfielder, and also the fact that he's missing out on Salah or Mane. Because if Liverpool find form, you know that Salah and Mane are those players who'll score 20 odd points in a game week. Talking about differentials, how about Reece James? I think he'll start for the first 3 game weeks until Chilwell is back. He'll start on the right back role. Then eventually Chilwell will start on left back and Aspilicueta on the right back. So you might, if you're wildcarding early, you might want to go to Reece James. Ings or Vardy for 1 week. Vardy, I would say you can take a punt on Vardy because he's probably a captain pick as well if you want to. I think they're having a mini shout out Varun and Yajat. Next team, please. Okay, we'll switch to the next team. I think Chelsea assets will struggle except Werner, of course. I think they'll do decent and they'll provide more chances to Werner. Exactly what I mentioned just right now. Sterling or Torres, Sahil says Sterling without doubt. Fernand Torres is what he's referring to Milan. Okay, so team number 5 is Mohammed. We have McCarthy, we have Trent, Davies, Mitchell, Justin. Looks like a set template defense. Nothing much to change about. Probably Davies to Dyer, as I said, or even Alderweireld suits. Then he has Reed, Aubameyang, Salah, and Son. I am not sure about Reed if he's a good pick. I'm not sure of his price as well. He's probably 5, and there are possible better options in that price range. So you want to switch Reed out, and for someone like Maximum Saka, or find the funds to get him. Vardy looks like a good 1 week punt if it's only a 1 week punt. If you look at the long term, I don't see Vardy scoring in the initial games because of the lack of creativity in the midfield. He'll probably just drive Leicester on his own, probably through a penalty or an odd goal against West Brom. But there is definitely going to be lack of creativity in the midfield, which is going to affect him. So a 1 week punt seems good. Apart from that, long term, no. So looks like the strategy Vardy to Marshall to me, and then probably upgrade Reed if possible. On the bench, he has Davies, Douglas looks good, and he has probably Bradford, if I'm correct. Or Bissouma, I think it's Bissouma. Yeah. So Bissouma again, there's a conflict in people who to pick Bissouma or Stephens. Both irrespective of who you pick, both are eventually going to be ending up on your bench. And don't take 4.5 midfielders on the intention they're going to start and score points for you. If they're going to be on the bench, eventually, if you have an injury or crisis, they'll come in for a couple of points. That's it. Aubameyang and Kevin De Bruyne after game week 3, or Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne. I think a Liverpool midfielder and De Bruyne or Sterling. I think Emerson is gone on loan already. Alonso, I don't see him starting. Uh, 2 or 3 Tottenham players to start with. Their favorable fixtures. I would recommend going with either Doherty, Dyer, Alderweireld, a defensive player, and either Son and Ali. You can go for Kane, but I've not seen him in form even in the England squad, so would actually not pick Kane over Ali or Son. Werner or Havertz, which will be a good investment. I think Werner will be a better investment. He'll possibly also be on penalty, so that's a factor you want to look at. And we'll move to the 6th team we have. We have YOLO Gamer coming in. Hi mate, what better combo? Kevin De Bruyne, Marshall, or Bruno Aguero? I think Kevin De Bruyne, Marshall. You know they're going to start game week in and out. So For the sixth draft, we have McCarthy and Nyland. Looks like the set keeper combination again. Vinagre, Alexander Arnold, Walker Peters, Bernardo Taylor. Okay, Vinagre looks like a problem there because he's not going to start eventually. Apart from that, it's a good defense. Then we have Salah, Aubameyang, Traore, Maximan, Fernandes, Mitrovic, Werner, and Davis. I think he's going to play four, probably 4-2 for the first game again. They'll switch to 4-5-2 or 3-5-2 dependingly, 4-5-1 or 3-5-2 dependingly. And this is one of those drafts which I liked, which have a United or a City asset benched, and they still are putting out a very strong team for the game week one. I think Traore is a standout good pick. Saint Maximin is with every team, and he could prove to be a good pick. We do not know as of now. Salah plus Aubameyang, Mitrovic is a decent pick as well. He could go to Che Adams if he wants, and then we have Werner as well. This is one of those teams which he's also invested in the United assets, and he's probably not even deploying a very weak team for game week one. A lot of teams I saw had Bruno or probably Marshall on the bench. Most of them had Greenwood for some reason, and they were deploying a very weak team in game week one. Probably not good performing or playing players in their 11. So that's something when you look at if you want to bench your players. This could serve as a template, not necessarily the exact same team, but you can look at the flow of the team, and you can look at the players he's picked. He's probably gone for a cheap midfielder. If you get in Sun, then you'll obviously struggle to get in the likes of Mitrovic or Trent. So you want to keep a look at that as well. Varun says this team thing is getting like boring because we don't know these random people. Well, that's for sure. Well, I don't know either, but a lot of people requested me to rate their team, so this is how we gotta rate them. Eventually, there were not much teams. I think I had six teams. So we're on the sixth one because most of them after this were either the same teams or they were a standard template as we discussed. They had Mitrovic, Adams, Werner, Aubameyang, 4.5 midfielder, Stephens probably, Salah, Maximan, Son, Vinagre, Justin, Dyer or Davies, Trent, McCarthy, Button or Nyland, Mitchell and Taylor. The exact same teams with 100 of people. And probably would recommend you guys to find a couple of differentials in your team because even one differential, if he performs, it will take you ahead in your mini leagues and overall rank as well. Will Saint Maximin be a regular starter for Newcastle? Definitely. I'm saving 2 million. I'm going with no Manchester United for game week 1, but who should I bring for game week 2? Sterling or Bruno? I think Bruno. You can bring in the City assets in game week 3. Edison or Pope? Don't spend much on the keeper. If you want to go Pope, go cheap. Go cheap on keepers because eventually they're not the players who will get you 200 plus points. They're the attackers, and probably the Liverpool defenders will get you those points. Sheffield United defense for game week 1 and 2 looks decent in my opinion, especially their second fixture. So you might want to take a punt on Egan or Ramsdale. Those teams are similar. Yes, those teams are similar. A lot of people have almost the similar teams. Switch back to the team. You guys can probably see my team right now. Yep. Oba, Bruno, Kevin De Bruyne, Salah. Which two? I would pick Kevin De Bruyne, Salah. Switch around with Bruno and Oba, and probably have Marshall up top. What's your plan for United City players? YOLO Gamer, I've explained it in a video, but I'm going for Marshall in Gaming 2 from Antonio. That's the United plans, and with the City, I'll look how they perform and who's performing well. Nikita differential and scary. If he starts, he's a very good pick. If he doesn't, obviously, then it becomes scary, Varun. Will Vinagre be a regular starter? No, mate. He'll probably won't start after game week 2. A bench warmer for which position is better? I think you ought to have a bench warmer in defense, a 4 million defender, and a 4.5 midfielder probably. If you because that gives you a flexibility of having switching a lot of formations. If you want to, you can go for a 4.5 million attacker. If Brewster makes his move to Sheffield United, I think most of us will have a Brewster in our team, which will be the 4.5 attacker position. That allows you to get another midfielder. Probably a defender for a 4 million is the best way to keep it. The 4.5 midfielders are better than the 4.5 forwards. Yes, I think, but if Brewster goes to a club I think NEP starting. There's no way you don't want to have him in your team. Zaha seems to be an impressive since preseason. Yes, but the fact that they have not created much goals. If you see that game, I've seen the highlights, and the goals they scored, the odd goal they scored, is not that great. There's not much creativity. So against a side like Southampton, I don't see them scoring. Laka played 0 minutes preseason. Nikita also played in the cup final. Yes, looks likely, but that's a good choice. If he starts, that's amazing. That's a very good differential, honestly. When you don't have to depend on Aubameyang altogether. Kiri S. Sun versus early. Please check out the Instagram page. We've put a detailed comparison. I think I should put it somewhere in the live stream where we say that the Sun versus early comparison is on the Instagram page. Two differentials for defenders, midfield, attack each budget friendly. I think for game week one, defense probably Dyer. Not a lot of people are going for him. If you look at his overall ownership, it's just 1.4. Tottenham as its defenders are in general being neglected. Dyer is one of them. You can go for Mitchell. He's also partial differential. You can also go for Kenny. I think he's a decent differential. He'll probably not get a clean sheet, but if he starts, can expect an assist in the first 2 or 3 game weeks. In midfield, Suchek, if he's fit, he's past fit in the press conference, then Suchek is a very nice pick. Apart from that, there are a lot of 5.5 midfielders. You want to get any one of them. Probably Saint Maximan out of the lot. And in forwards, you have Che Adams. You have Bamford if you want to. I would not actually go for, but Che Adams is someone, and then Antonio is a good pick as well. Nikita is also a very good pick at 6 million if he starts. Will Mares get a start in game week 3 or game week 4 due to COVID? Well, we'll have to see how he recovers and all of that. I cannot predict what is going to happen with him with the COVID crisis. So we'll have to see how he starts and how he recovers eventually. And then if he does, he'll probably get a place. If FPL tips with us on the live stream, hey mate, Tierney a good differential in defense as well. Yes, I think Gabriel is 5 million. He's a bit cheaper than Tierney, and you can go for him as well. But the Arsenal defense is not that proven as of now. If you look at the sample set of last season, they still eventually conceded a lot of goals, and the clean sheets they kept were majorly due to Martinez, not because of the defense. So that is some factor that is going to be involved. If Martinez starts, you can bank Arsenal on keeping a clean sheet in the first 2 game weeks specifically. Hello, Kita, good backup since Van Aldum may leave. I think Kita will not get the freedom to go ahead. If Minamino starts, he'll probably get more freedom. He's a bit expensive, but then he'll get more chances as well. Mane or Salah, 50-50, mate. If you're going to captain some Mane, then you want to pick him. But if you're keen on captaining Salah, then you probably want to stick to him. I think I'm going to stick to Salah because I'll captain him in game week 1. Dyer or Davies, which one offers more attacking threat? I think Dyer on set pieces. Davies is not going to go into the box a lot. You should do expected lineups post on Insta on Friday night. We can do that after the presses. I think I'll just wait because there's a lot of information to be revealed, especially about Newcastle, West Ham, probably even Chelsea right now. They have some information, but still a lot to go. Differential concept looks impressive, but Tom is a must game week on player. I think Trent is heavily owned, but unless and until he provides an attacking return, it's good to have a Liverpool cheap defender. But when he is obviously in form, then you want to have him. My theory behind not going Trent for the first few game weeks is that they already have tough fixtures, so I don't expect a lot of clean sheets. Plus the fact that I've seen Robertson perform better in the last stages of last season and in the preseason as well. So I would prefer Robertson. Also the fact that if I see Trent performing, I can obviously wildcard and get in Trent at any moment. Salah versus Obama and captain pros and cons. We can discuss that. We'll take up that question. FPL Tips says Martinez is going to Aston Villa apparently. Well, yes, there was a rumor. If that is confirmed, then we know that Len is going to start, and that might clear a lot of things as well. At Aston Villa, Martinez priced is decent, honestly, but I don't see Aston Villa defense to be great, to be honest. So it's kind of a waste transfer. I think Arsenal should keep Martinez, probably even play him more often. Is Mura a good pick? I would prefer early or Son, definitely, anytime. Possibly Burgoyne takes his place as well. How much do you have in bank? I have 2.5 million in the bank. Ali Doherty or Son and Davies. I would go Ali and Doherty. Khiri, yes, I'm from India. Okay, so who to pick? Obama or Salah? I think the Fulham's Arsenal game is not going to be very high scoring. Fulham are known to set up defensively. I don't see the Arsenal bashing them 4-5-0. It's probably going to be a 2-1, 2-0 game for Arsenal. So if you want to bank, Aubameyang is a good captain. I don't say he's not a bad he's a bad option. He'll probably be involved in the goals through an assist or a goal, or possibly a penalty as well. So if you Aubameyang is a very good captain. When it comes to Salah, it's a bit risky. He is highly owned, that's a factor. But we've seen that Klopp adopted a different setup in the preseason games, and he'll probably switch back to his original setup in the Premier League. If that happens, if that's the case, and we have the fullbacks back to form with Trent and Robertson, then we can see Salah performing really well. Because in the preseason, I observed that Salah was not allowed to get into the box a lot. He was staying wide, he was trying to put in crosses, create passes. But usually in the Premier League, we see Salah getting inside the box and taking a lot of shots. If if Klopp adopts his original formation, Salah I think is a better pick than Aubameyang because Leeds will attack the game. They'll not set up defensively. They'll not be some team like they're going to park the bus against Liverpool and play defensively. Leeds will attack the game, and there will obviously be open chances for Liverpool, both where Mane or Salah could capitalize. So it entirely depends on the formation and system that Klopp adopts. If you want to go safe, go Aubameyang. If you want to go differential, I think Salah is a decent option. If you're going to super differential, go for Mane. But I would recommend going Salah for this game week at least because of his high ownership. Honestly, he's 33 at this moment, and I expect him to be around 36 or 37 by the game week deadline. Will James Rodriguez be a good investment? I would particularly ask you to wait and watch for a couple of game weeks before investing into him. Virgil van Dijk, Son, Robertson Ali. I would go Robertson Ali. Also, Pulisic versus Havertz question. Okay, we'll take up this question as well. Pulisic versus Havertz. Havertz in the attacking midfielder role, in the number 10 role, probably he does not have that effect even at Bayern Leverkusen like he usually does have when he plays in the center forward role. So if he's sticking to this attacking midfielder number 10 role, probably for Chelsea as well, we might see him passing the ball around a lot, but not scoring and getting in the box as much as Pulisic will. Ziyech is not going to get into the box. We know that he's going to stay outside the box. He takes shots from outside the box and passes a lot diagonally. Pulisic, on the other hand, gets into inside the box. He'll probably earn penalties. He'll take a lot of shots from inside the box, and then we have Werner as well alongside him. So if you ask me, personally, I think Pulisic will outscore Havertz. If you want to take a punt in game week one, if you have confirmed news on Pulisic, you might want to go for him. But if you don't get confirmed news that he is starting, then I think Havertz is a safe option because we know Havertz is going to start. As well, Mount is also going to start, I think, for the first game week, so you can pick in Mount as well. Is Madison able to play this week? I don't think so. Bilbao, Madison will probably miss out game week one. Who do you predict to be the next Pookie this season? I think if there is any Pookie, it could be Mitrovic. From the promoted teams, Mitrovic looks like the option. Davies is a good option. Yes, he's a decent option in defense. Yes, says Leno's greater than Martinez. I think both of them are pretty much the same. They make great saves and give a lot of save points. If Sancho signs, he's a must. I don't know if he's a must because he'll probably priced around 10.5, 10 million. I would actually still stick to Bruno because of his penalty appeal. Are you sure Vinagre plays for 2 game weeks? Yes, I say if he doesn't move to Porto, if there is no news of him moving to Porto, then he will start. But there's a very high possibility that the Porto move is finalized, and probably the game week deadline will pass, and the Wolves match I think is on Tuesday Indian time, and probably he'll make a move on the weekend. So it's a 50-50 risk. If you want to take it, you take it. I think I'm going to move to Vinagre to Kenny because I think Kenny will get decent chances if he's starting. And even if he doesn't start, then I have Mitchell as a backup. So no worries for my team actually. Adams will get a start for sure. I think he'll start for sure. FA tips, what's your plan with the 2.5 million in the bank? That's a no-brainer to me. To be honest, it's Antonio to Martial without a doubt. I think I'm going to make this move pretty much at the start when the game week starts. But also there's a possibility that Marshall is injured, and probably there is the COVID case scenario and all of that. So don't heavily bank on and bench United and City assets, because there's a possibility that some one of them could get injured because they're not trained till now. They've not done team training till now. Also, the fact that the COVID crisis is a fact and like is a reality, and there could be a chance that your player you've picked could get COVID positive, and then you'll have to take a hit to remove them. So it's a risky move, or to be honest, to get on a player at the very start of a game week. But again, then we don't have a lot of options. It's still better than benching someone in game week one. And at some point, if you go for Man City defender, I think if Ake is starting Ake, apart from that, I won't see Man City defenders in my team, because it's either Laporte who's nailed on who's 6 million, I think, and the rest of the lot is very prone to rotation. So don't want to spend 5.56 million the players who I'm not sure who'll start or not. The headache is too much, especially now where we know that we're not going to get league lineups. Here's Aguero. If you ask my opinion, I'll go with Aguero any day. He's the kind of a player who can score hat tricks or braces in any game he plays. With Marcel and Wolves, do you think Vinagre will be first starter? I think if they don't have a perfect left back, he could start. But I think with the Porto news, he'll probably make a move to Porto anytime soon this week. When will you see? When will you use your first wildcard? I think I'm not very stringent about it. Probably when I feel like my team needs a lot of new players who are in form, or my team is lacking at some point, and I have to make a couple more than 3 or 4 changes. I think I'll wildcard. At the moment, I have game week 6 or probably game week 7 or 8, because that's when the transfer window is completed and there's a lot of fixture change as well. Like Man City then have a very good run. We see the Tottenham run getting over as well. We can double up on the Chelsea assets, and even the United assets can be downgraded. So probably around 8, game week 8. But if needed, I could play it earlier as well. Being a Chelsea fan, how are you not doubling up on Chelsea? Because they play Liverpool next week. I think people tend to forget that Liverpool is not an easy club to win against. I mean, we have the quality right now, but that doesn't guarantee us a win. So, doubling up against Liverpool on attack is still a big no for me. I would actually wait for the perfect fixtures. If you ask me about Werner fixture, and probably when I double up on Chelsea, should be around game week 7 and later to up till game week 16 when they play this, before they play City in game week 18. Sheffield United have a good streak of fixtures. Who would you consider in the mid? Burge is injured, so good chance for the Lord. I think there's a decent chance for Lord if Burge is injured. I haven't had news on Burge right away, so we'll have to check on that, Boris. But if he's injured, then Lundstrom could get a chance as well. So decent punt if you want to at 5 million. I think it's 5.5. So if Burge is confirmed injured, you can actually go for Lundstrom for first couple of game weeks. Yeah, he's 5.5. Varun says Havertz to Ali already have Son and Dyer. I think it's not necessary to double up on Tottenham attack. If you have, you can probably rely on the double Chelsea for game week 1. Tottenham, if you're keeping Ali and Son both for long term, probably 4 or 5 game weeks, then it's okay. Otherwise, stick to Havertz for game week 1. I think it's Varun. A lot of people are wildcarding in game week 3 because of the fixture change swing that time as well. Antonio or Haller, I would fancy Antonio any day. Okay, guys, so we'll do the new segment we had planned. So I'll be asking you the predictions for each and every game. So you guys can put in your predictions. Just a second. Yeah, you guys can put in your predictions for each game I ask you guys to put in, and then we'll note it down, and then we'll have a competition as discussed. Mridul says you should do match watch alongs. I think we can do match watch alongs and probably FIFA streams as well later on in the season, during the international breaks and something like that. But the only problem is the bandwidth of my internet is not that high. If you see, the quality of the stream is not HD. It's not HD enabled as well. So that's a concern. Okay, so we'll start with the Fulham Arsenal predictions. Guys, you don't have to mention the scorers, just mention the prediction you think will happen, and we'll take the common consensus. No, you don't have to mention the scorers, just mention the scoreline prediction. So Varun says Arsenal 2, Fulham 1. We'll just start with let Varun, let everyone complete the Arsenal Fulham prediction, and then we'll switch to Crystal Southampton. So we have a couple of people. We have Arsenal 2, Fulham 1. That's something that's twice. That's come up twice. Fulham 2, Arsenal 1. Fulham 1, Arsenal 3. Let it in. Let it flow, guys. Let it flow. So if tie, we have two votes for 2-1. We have two votes for 3-1. Come on, guys. Someone vote, and probably will finalize the score for Arsenal Fulham. So should we go 3-1 Arsenal or 2-1 Arsenal? I think that's the most mentioned prediction at the moment. Sahil, any good midfielders less than 6 million? I think Saint Maximin, Suchek, Saka all fit into the bracket. Milan says 3-0 Aubameyang brace. See a lot of variant predictions. Jack says 2-1 Fulham. So sorry, Arsenal. So I think a lot of majority of the votes are for 2-1 Arsenal. Most of them have predicted an Arsenal win. So unless there are more predictions, we'll stick to 2-1 Arsenal. Okay, since I'm not getting any new predictions, we'll move on to the next one: Southampton versus Crystal Palace. I think this should be a pretty much easy prediction, to be honest. Okay, all star clubs makes it 3-1 Arsenal, and again we have a tie. So probably someone just mentioned a prediction. Okay, Jack changes his vote, then we'll go for 3-1 probably. Okay, Southampton Crystal, guys. Mention Southampton Crystal, and just this time just mention it quickly so that we can get all the fixtures done. Southampton 1, Crystal 0. Mridul says 1 all. I've seen Varun says 2-0. 2-0, 2-1, 2-0. Mohit says 2-1. Mohit thinks that Crystal will score. Miriam says draw, stalemate. Mridul says 1 all. Southampton 3, Crystal Palace 0. Shubham says Crystal 0, Southampton 2. Boris says 1 all. Jack says 1-0. I think it's to Southampton, not to Crystal. So probably a 2-0 to Southampton looks like the trend over here. Okay, so Liverpool versus Leeds. That's the big game of the week. I think it's going to be an unpredictable, predictable one. Liverpool versus Leeds. So Varun says 4-0 Liverpool, if I'm right. 3-1 Liverpool. Leeds win 1-0. I hope Leeds win. No, actually, I'm going to captain Salah. I hope Liverpool better score a lot of goals. 3-0, 4-0, 4-0. A lot of 4-0s in there. Leeds to Liverpool 2. Yajat makes a bold prediction. All Star Club says 3-0 Southampton win. I think we're sticking to 2-0 at the moment because it had more votes. 3-1 Liverpool, 2-1 to Leeds, 2-1 to Liverpool, 1-0 Liverpool. Looks like a lot of people think that Liverpool is going to win with a fair bit of margin. How about 3-0? I think 3-0 looks like the most common prediction I've seen at the moment. Oh no, it's actually 4-0. Way too late. Is Ryan injured? No, I don't think Ryan is injured. Okay, so next we have West Ham versus Newcastle. I have predicted it's going to be a very high scoring game. What do you guys think? Okay, guys, it's almost an hour. We'll wrap it up fast. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Newcastle versus West Ham. Put in the predictions. 2-2, 2-2, 2-2. Almost everyone's 2-2 at the moment. Looks like someone is going to steal my prediction at the moment. 0-0. I think that's highly unlikely with the defense they have. Both of them have a horrendous defense at the moment. So it's probably going to be high scoring. Looks like 2-2, 2-2, 2-1 West Ham, 2-1 Newcastle. 2 all looks like the 2 all looks like the most common prediction at the moment. Also, guys, I'm planning that if we can do this way as well, that all of you guys participate and you guys can predict, or we could actually pick up one person each game week, and then he personally gets to battle with all of us, all of the admins. So let us know which method you prefer, and we'll stick to that and continue it along the season. Shubham says, "Is Suchek in quarantine or injured?" He's in quarantine, mate. All Star says predicts a Newcastle win. That's a bold prediction as well. West Brom, Leicester 1-0, says Varun. What do you think, guys? West Brom versus Leicester. What do you think about Pereira from West Brom? Highest assist and chances created in Championship. I would actually wait and watch because the Championship is a way different league, and the Premier League is a way different ball game. He's going to be the best player from West Brom, but not necessarily the pick straight away. If you have him in your team, probably get in someone like Traore or Barnes, and then probably make a late switch to Pereira. West Brom 0-1. What do you think, West Brom? Okay, so a lot of people say a regular head on head. So we'll take the predictions for this week and then we'll do a simple thing for next week as well. So Tottenham 2-0. What do you think? Leicester 3-0. Kiran says 1-2 for West Brom Leicester. West Brom Leicester 3-0, 1-0 West Brom. Okay, that's a bold prediction, Yajat. He says West Brom is going to win. But I see a lot of 3-0 for Leicester. I think looks like the prediction for most of you guys. Most of you guys, anyways, have predicted Leicester win. If Oli Watkins is at 6.5 or 6, should I go for him instead of Mitrovic? I think you should stick to Mitrovic at the very start. And he's priced at 6 million according to my information. So you might want to check it. 2-0. What do you think about the Spurs Everton game? All Star says 3-2 Spurs to win. Varun had mentioned 2-0. What do you guys think? Leicester West Brom 1 all. All Star says 2-1 Wolves will win. Guys, mention your predictions for the rest of the games. Don't mention for the Brighton Chelsea game. Guys, don't mention for the Brighton Chelsea game. I have a special thing at there. Tottenham 2 Everton 1. West Brom Leicester 1-3. Looks like 3-0. A lot of predictions. Tottenham 2 Everton 0. What do you guys think of the Tottenham Everton game? 1 or draw, says Kiran. Guys, put in Spurs 3 Everton 1. Spurs 1 Everton 1. All of 2. Guys, come on. Everton versus Tottenham. Looks like Everton versus Tottenham is a very scattered prediction at the moment. Tottenham 1, Everton 1 looks like a lot of predictions to me. So we'll go with Tottenham 1, Everton 1 because a lot of people have predicted that. What do you think about the Wolves and Sheffield United game? 0-0, says Boris. I think yes, the Spurs and the Everton game is after the Liverpool Leeds game is going to be the best game of the week. Yel says 1-0 Wolves. I think Mridul says 3-2 to I'm not sure who, probably Wolves. 1-0 to Sheffield, 1 all to probably Wolves and Sheffield. There's no 2. Varun says 0-0. Jack says 1-0 to Wolves. There's a tie on 1-0 and 0-0. Let the other predictions come in. Okay, since there are not a lot of predictions for Sheffield versus Wolves, we might want to go with a 0-0, I think, or a 1-0 with Wolves because a couple of people predicted Wolves to score. Okay, so at the moment we're going 1-0 to Wolves. Okay, for the final prediction, Brighton versus Chelsea. Guys, mention your prediction and note that whoever wins this prediction will be battling with us with the admins in Game Week 2. That particular person will be battling with us. You can mention multiple predictions if you want to, but your first prediction will be considered like whoever's first prediction is correct. So mention your predictions in the chat. Make sure it's the prediction that will take you us to battle with the admins. Guys, let the predictions come in. This is the this is the prediction that will take you guys to the battle with the admins. Okay, so a lot of people are saying 1-0, 3-0, 3-0 to Chelsea. Shubham says 2-1 to Chelsea. So okay, let me other people respond. Let me know if you guys want to continue this on YouTube or if you guys want to have this on Instagram because a lot of more people would participate on Instagram. But particularly, I want to keep this to the community on YouTube because it's the people who join us on the streams, and there should be something more for you guys since you're subscribers to the channel as well. So I think we should stick this particular segment to YouTube. So let me know if you guys want us to shift on Instagram altogether, this segment altogether to Instagram. But nevertheless, I think in my opinion we should stick to YouTube. So Boris says Chelsea 2-0, Jack says 3-1 to Chelsea, Dion says Brighton to Chelsea 2. That's a bold prediction as well. Okay, so we probably have almost all the predictions for the game. So that's it. We probably call it a day. I'll just tinker around with my team. I think I'm going to remove Vinagre and get in the Everton defender Kenny. Apart from that, I don't see a lot more changes. Varun says YouTube as well. All Star Club says 5-0 Chelsea to win. That's a bold prediction. Exactly. I feel the YouTube channel is more interactive than the Instagram page altogether. I mean, we want the YouTube channel to be more interactive as well. Just like, okay, a lot of people saying nice stream. Thank you guys for the stream. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, just a reminder, tomorrow evening we have a live on Instagram with all about FPL. So we're going to discuss a couple of promotion teams and a couple of players, and we're going to reveal our teams. Probably you guys already know my teams. So if you guys want to join us on the stream, you can probably tune in around 7:30 p.m. IST tomorrow Instagram. Apart from that, hopefully you guys have a good time. Uh, till the next stream, which is the deadline stream. This is FPL Tips signing off. Cheers.